What should you be aware of before moving out and beginning to live independently for the first time? Turn on the shower when viewing the property and think to yourself, can I live with this water pressure? This is probably the last thing I would think about, but I see the importance. Low water pressure while showering won't be such a great experience. To be fair, the house I moved into had really terrible water pressure in the shower, but I changed out the shower head and it's perfect now. Take pics of the apt before moving your stuff in. The carpet, the floors, baseboards, everything. Just to cover your ass. Some landlords are total pros and will try to keep security for a stain in the rug that was there when you moved in. If you are renting, remember, all the stuff you buy, you have to move in a couple of years. All the little knickknacks add up, so do books, so do dishes, etc. I started keeping this in mind when I was renting, after tossing probably $1.500 worth of stuff I couldn't sell and didn't want to move. I'll try to keep a minimalistic approach to my living. I like it better anyway. Thank you. If by minimalistic you mean lawn chair, one of every eating tool, and an air mattress, then yes, I'm doing the same. Buy a plunger before you need it. An add-on would be, if the toilet does get plugged, do not flush again. Turn off the water supply to the toilet and wait until the water level goes down enough to use the plunger. Once the toilet is unclogged with the plunger, you can flush again. And if it's that bad that a plunger won't work, dump some cheap shampoo down the toilet and wait, then dump a pail of hot from the tap water down. That usually does the trick. First floor of an apartment building gets robbed the most and deals with bugs/mice/rats/etc that upper floors don't always have to. It's easier to move your stuff though. Keep your windows and doors locked. And don't keep expensive things like computers and game consoles within view of the windows. My last apartment was 3rd floor. It sucked moving and /out, but it was relatively quiet for how thin the walls were, and in the winter the heat would hardly ever run. The act got expensive in the summer though. Never a single ant or spider, which was nice. Plus no kids stomping the yard above your head. Top floor is great in the long run. I'm currently on the bottom floor. Moved recently. And we get millipedes. Tons of them. The neighborhood is posh though, so I'm not concerned about the whole B&E thing. Neighbors can suck. They can make your first place a living hell, no matter what you do or don't do. Here's hoping I land a flat next to some sensible people. Thanks for warning. On that note, try to meet your neighbors in the first week or so, before you realize you've been living next door to someone for months and don't know their name. It can be really awkward and you might miss/postpone a great friendship. I did that once and made sure not to repeat it, lol. The person who was great fun to hang out with might be dreadful as a roommate. Life is not a continual party. Shared apartments work best among people who are honest, responsible, and cleanly. Unfortunately, I learned this the hard way. The best advice I have for those planning on living on their own soon is write down what you do/use daily for about a week. Literally every single thing you do and use. It will give you an idea of what you're going to buy on your own and will help you sort your budget. Holy, this is quite ingenious. Thanks. And budget. Budget everything. Make sure you have a cushion to your budget because shit happens. Ask your parents or your friends about all their bills. There are probably things you have no idea about because your parents handled them. Egg sewer/trash collection. Phone. Taxes. Car registration. Insurance. Decorating is fun. Even if you are not super into design. Get some curtains in a color you like. Put up a few framed posters. Get a plant and a comfy blanket. It really does make a difference. And it will make the place a lot more welcoming to visitors. Can't wait for this too. Making it my home. Love your username BTW. How'd you come up with it? Thanks. It was just a spur of the moment thing. It's cheaper to eat at home than going out, especially if you learn how to effectively use rice, beans, and noodles, and buy them in bulk. They can be flavored in tons of ways. A serving of rice from a 20-pound bag is about 6 cents. With one of those Costco $5 chickens you can make a delicious fresh stock chicken noodle soup that is around $50 a serving. Just need some carrots, celery, onion, parsley and pepper. or the hidden expenses. Sure, you have rent, utilities, trash, etc. But do you have a washer and dryer in the place you're moving? Do you have furniture? A bed even? If you do, how will you move it? Do you have cooking items? How about food? Is there a grocery store close by? How about parking? And or the nearest subway/bus stop? Cleaning and upkeep too. Now it's on you to do everything. If you're by yourself, you do the dishes, you vacuum, you dust, you cook, you decorate, etc. Go through everything you do at home now and think to yourself, when I move I can either have this by buying it/renting a place that has this, or I will have to go without. Apostrophe. Shit is awesome moving out for the first time. But it also sucks those first couple of duck ups and you're eating bread and water for dinner. Also, if you have friends, make them respect your place. People let their friends trash their place/it's a chill spot. Screw that. It's your home. If they don't help you keep it clean/respect your privacy, it can lead to some animosity. Yeah. There's most definitely a lot under the surface. I'm gonna have to look into further dividing my budget again. Great tips though. Thank you. That bread and water part made me laugh tbh. Independent life seems fun. Good on you for making a budget. Huh, yeah. Me and the roommates got too high and spent all our grocery money on snacks. One roommate moved out because of it. Understandably. Forgot how dumb I was as a 17-year-old. Told my teacher who lived next to us, and she made sure to go grocery shopping with me after that. The amount of things you have to buy adds up fast. Stuff your parents wouldn't have made you pay for at home. Toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, toothpaste, hand soap, dish soap. I feel like it seems like you mostly just need to budget for food, but that's not the case at all. That stuff adds up, and for me, it feels like as soon as I budget for one thing, something else runs out that I have to buy too. If you have the money up front, buying in bulk is much more convenient and will save you a lot of time and money overall. But of course, not everyone can afford that. This kinda worries me. The ability to tailor the expenses accurately so I can last from month to month. Worst case scenario, I cut non-essentials off the list. Thank you for insight though. I suggest getting a large dry erase calendar, hang it up, and write every payday, bill, and due date on it. Also, get a file box for keeping important documents in. Your birth certificate, social security card, title to your car, anything important like that. The initial feelings loneliness was weird at first, knowing people weren't just in the next room or gonna come walking through the door later. Took some getting used to, but learned to love it. Can you get used to it? Personally, I don't handle loneliness very well. Was thinking to get a cat or little dog to help me combat that bitch. I would seriously not recommend getting an animal. Not for a while at least. You need to make sure you can properly look for yourself first. And if you are worried about being able to pay bills, vet bills and constant food won't help with that. Sorry, don't mean to be a bummer, it is just such a big responsibility. I only moved out a year ago, but I know I couldn't actually have the responsibility of a dog that I needed to walk. To be honest, it's been nice not having that sort of responsibility. I can eat when I get hungry and sleep till whenever I like. If you're renting, for the love of God, read your contract. There's so many crazy things that could be hidden in there. Know what happens if you must break your lease, and be okay with that. Good luck. I'll pay attention. Thank you. Highly consider renter's insurance. It is really cheap if you get it with your auto insurance and can save you a lot of trouble. Ours is $10 a month with our auto insurance. Just video and narrate all the items in your place in the case you need it. Don't be too trusting of people you don't know, especially if they are trying to sell you something. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Be aware of your naivety. Unfortunately, I had to learn this the hard way. Thanks for the tip anyway. Well, I'm glad you've already crossed that challenge then. If you are planning to have roommates, you need to discuss and come to an agreement on things like acceptable cleanliness, boundaries with things like food or other things you have purchased, chores, and general expectations for your living space. Living with friends can be fun, but if you are not on the same page before living, it can be awful and lead to destroyed friendships. I was one of the first to move out at 18, and so many friends and roommates will take advantage of you if you do not figure this out up front. Things like, why should I take out the trash or clean? I don't mind a pile of trash bags or a sink full of crusty disgusting dishes. This is just an example of a real argument I had with a roommate. Food is another big one. I tend to like sharing food with people, but some people will not contribute the same quality or will not contribute at all. Also, if you live with roommates, make sure you have your own laundry basket. With my first roommate I had a laundry basket and she didn't, so she would use mine, which meant I got irritated text messages when I'd take my stuff off the indoor line then have to go to work when she'd decide that she need to do her washing, only to discover my basket wasn't there for her to move her clothes. I feel like you need to rephrase this advice as make sure your roommate isn't a jerk. If you live with roommates, beware when they offer food. I had roommates once that always made more food than they could eat and would throw away any leftovers because they didn't like to eat leftovers. They told me I could take the leftovers for lunch at work. All was well until they stopped paying their share of the utilities. It wouldn't be so bad if not for the fact they would leave the lights on all night long while they slept, which ran up my electricity bill. When I confronted them, they told me they shouldn't have to pay utilities because I ate their food, which they said they'd throw out anyway. If they had mentioned those strings, I'd never have accepted their generosity. Also, never get into an argument with a roommate when they've clearly gone through half a bottle of whiskey. It won't end well. Get a plant or plants. They can brighten up an area in the winter. Caring for something can be helpful to keeping yourself in a routine. You can also grow some from food. I had a garlic clove sprout in the fridge, so I planted it. I'm not saying you need to go all urban farmer, but it can be fun as a project. Exactly. I was thinking fresh herbs for cooking would be quite useful. What do you think? Yes. Always nice to have fresh herbs on hand. Live in the space for a bit before you go wild buying everything you think you need. Get the essentials, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to eat, something to eat/cook with, and then add things gradually. You may find that you don't need everything you think you do, or you might want something different. Doing this will save you money and let you be more selective, i.e. waiting for a sale to buy a TV, decor, whatever. Great and sensible piece of advice. Thank you very much. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.